let's get into this video. It's number 10 on trending. You are not where you think you are. 2.7 million views. Posted May 17th. It's 10 minutes. Let's dive into it. You're not where you think you are. Let's see if this gets trippy.
Where are you? Look around you. Where are you? Where is this place you're occupying? Somewhere in a room,
That's
maybe
me.
in a city, on a continent, on a planet, orbiting a star in a galaxy among billions.
It's 100% what we're doing.
Where is all of that? While this may feel like a daft question, it turns out that the concept of an absolute position is something humans made up.
Fuck
In a
yes.
nutshell, the universe is a big bag of space that has things in it.
Yeah.
If someone removed all these things, the stars and planets and black holes and dust, there would just be empty space left. In empty space, the concept of having a position loses all meaning. Empty space is uniform, the same everywhere. The space we occupy is not like a stage under our feet. We can't mark specific points or staple something to space-time as an anchor. Without things, there is no position.
That's kind of true.
We are really ever only at a position in relation to something else. Which also means that things we take for granted, like up and down, are actually relative too.
That is 100%. That is 100% relative. It's 100% because if you're in space, you know, if you're floating upside down, your north could be your south and your south could be your north. For example, doggy style. I know, I'm sorry. But doggy style in space, is it doggy style or is it reverse cowgirl? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. In space, you're just floating around. Is it doggy style or is it reverse cowgirl? It's relative. It's all relative to you. You know? Oof.
Okay, let's fill the universe up with things again and try to find out where you are right now, relative to everything else.
Hey, just something to think about. If you're spinning around, it's all about positioning, you know? Think about it.
What's it like to learn math on brilliant.org?
I don't fucking know. I'm never going to do it. Jesus Christ, let me skip. All right.
Let's start this video at a familiar place and then get increasingly weird.
Let's get weird.
From your perspective, the world is seemingly flat and you can move in 3 dimensions.
The Earth is not flat. All right, let's reel that in.
It's what physicists call a frame of reference. The perspective you have of the universe and how you see things moving around.
It's like me, but I'm on the opposite corner.
Your up and down is. Your frame of reference is correct for you.
Yes.
But not for the rest of the universe.
Yeah, I'm the main character.
5 kilometers from you, where the horizon begins, the ground noticeably curves away from you. If you could see through the ground, you'd see people from below or sideways.
Right.
But they don't fall down off the planet because gravity doesn't actually pull them down.
Pulls them in.
Is an illusion of your reference frame. To Earth's reference frame, gravity just pulls in. But for humans, there is an up and down because within our frame of reference, that just makes sense. Which is also why we think that the planet itself has an up and down, north and south.
How did you all remember this in school? Somebody tell me. North, east, south, west. What was a way to remember it going clockwise? I'm going to tell you mine and tell me if you had the same. Ours was this. Never eat soggy waffles. Anyways, I love you all.
Up and down, north and south, and we made our maps accordingly.
Exactly.
But an observer looking at the solar system might disagree. Our maps make sense to us because we're used to them, not because they are correct. Okay, so this is step 1.
Yeah.
Your position on what feels like a flat surface, but is actually a sphere.
I just want to
But
say,
the sphere is always moving, never staying in one
constantly
position.
moving. We're constantly just
Earth is
floating,
orbiting a
but we don't
star,
feel it.
The sun at the center of the solar system.
Here's what I just want to say real quick. Nothing he said so far is groundbreaking fucking information. Like, this is pretty common knowledge, right?
While we usually imagine this as pretty orderly, someone looking at us from the outside would see something pretty messy.
George struggling right now. Thank you.
We'll exaggerate all these movements. This is not to scale.
It's not to scale.
First of all, our orbit really is an ellipse, so we spend half the year sinking a little bit closer to the sun, speeding up, and
Right.
half the year rising up a bit and slowing down.
Common
And
knowledge.
the ellipse itself changes its shape every 100,000 years too. As the moon orbits Earth, it's jerking Earth around a bit, enough to make it jiggle.
It's jerking Earth. Wait a minute. Hey, yo.
Okay, so you're standing on the surface of a rotating planet that is jiggling around the sun in an elliptical orbit
Jerking and
that
jiggling?
changes a bit every year. But who's to say the Earth is right? From the perspective of the sun, the plane of the solar system is arbitrary.
That makes sense. I'm going to pause again and say that the Earth is not right, ever, because we have humans, and humans are always wrong.
It's defined of the planets moving through space in a helix shape, which you can imagine
Yes.
as a corkscrew motion on the tilted plane of
This
the
is-
solar system relative to the plane of the galaxy.
This has always been my favorite view of the solar system, is the way the planets spin like that, making that corkscrew motion. It's one of the coolest looking things.
This orientation in space means that sometimes the planets are sort of in front of the sun as it orbits around the galactic core. Let's just look at this for a moment.
Yeah.
There is a strange and eerie beauty about how our planets and the sun move through space.
Look at Saturn
Do
just
you
not
feel a bit
moving.
dizzy?
No.
It gets worse. This is still not the whole story, because the mass of the galactic disk is constantly pulling on the solar system too. Like a drunk dolphin, we're diving down and shooting up hundreds of light years through the galactic plane.
So what the
10
fuck is that, a
times
drunk
every orbit,
dolphin?
along arcs thousands of light years long. We
Look
haven't
at
mapped this
drunk
motion out
dolphin.
completely, as it takes the solar system tens of millions of years to go up and back once, and well, humanity is not that old.
Yeah, we're not old.
Let's look at your relative position again. On a planet tilted towards the sun, jiggled around by the moon, in a solar system tilted towards the galactic plane,
Look how
moving
cool that
forward
is.
in a helical shape, diving up and down through the plane.
It's like an old phone cord.
But where is up in a galaxy? At this point, the frame of reference becomes a bit arbitrary and pointless because of the nature of the universe.
Yeah,
at
there
this
is no
scale.
up at that
The
point.
Milky Way is part of a galaxy group that appears to be part of greater structures like the Laniakea supercluster, which itself is part of the gigantic Pisces-Cetus supercluster complex, and finally a galactic filament that spans hundreds of millions of light years in all directions and orientations. Someone looking right at us from that far away will only see the end of greatness. All stuff appears homogeneous, the same everywhere.
Right.
Just like with empty space, when everything looks the same, who's to say anyone's view is better than anyone else's?
And most of y'all's view is gonna be better than mine, because I have a prescription. I have stigmatisms. So a lot of people's views are gonna be better than my view. I do have to say, the way that webbing looks, it could be a vein system. Maybe we're in somebody's cardiovascular nervous system. You know, maybe we're in a giant human god's being. You know, maybe we're inside of a god. Maybe we are an atom inside of a giant living creature that we perceive as the galaxy. Wouldn't that be fucking crazy?
We've watching this video.
It looks just like me.
If this is all a bit much, don't feel bad.
It's not.
The scale of the universe is brain-crushing, and trying to keep track of how everything is oriented or decide where the best up and down is hard.
I don't.
But it doesn't really matter, because it doesn't change where you are. You're already in the best spot you possibly could be. Right here, right now.
Looking at you all.
For all you care, nothing can stop you from being right at the center of your own little universe.
Ain't that right, bro? Get a big head. Who gives a shit?
Perspective really is everything. That's true for the universe we all inhabit, but even more so within your personal universe. The way your life will unfold also depends on what you consider possible. Take us at Kurzgesagt. Our passion is to spark curiosity for science and make videos for free.
Hell yeah.
But this is not a great business model, so we began to create our own lines of science posters, calendars,
That's
and fun
fucking
Kurzgesagt
smart.
merch, pieces of Kurzgesagt that you can take home and touch. And
That's
we're doing
fucking
this with
smart.
Shopify, who are also so kind as to sponsor this video.
Hey, and this is the way to do it, bro. Put your sponsored shit at the end of the video.
If you want,
Anyways, they're talking about like fucking making merch and shit. I already got a merch site. That was badass. I was worried about it give me an existential crisis. I had an existential crisis like 2 weeks ago. It was great. I had to scream for a little bit, but I'm okay now. I think that's great. I love the way that we move through space and everything's relative. I feel like that was common knowledge, but then to see how the galaxy moves, the sun moves up and down, to see how the actual Milky Way spins and that in the grand scheme of thing, I think it's pretty neat. I think it's neat. We're a literal fucking speck in the grand scheme of all this. And the fact, literally, we could be in the nervous system of some random fucking god giant being. Isn't that kind of cool? We don't know. We could be anything.